Right, so I tried to film this and then realised that the lighting was terrible, so we're trying it again. So I have, as you can see, cleaned my desk. It is very tidy now. I have a little hand gel with a dinosaur on it, because why not? Spare bookmarks, my currently reading, which at the moment is Jules Verne. A little handy notebook, just for quickly jotting down things. Bloody hell, that's hard to say. Then I've got some notes and stuff on here. Basically, they're out to prompt me to do something with them. Then I've got my tablet, music notebook, lyrics notebook, bullet journal, generic diary. Got Remus and Hagrid. And then over here we have McGonagall, Dumbledore and Snape watching me work, judging me, all of that good stuff. I've actually got space to put my laptop under here now, which I didn't before. Then got my story notebook, my what's going to be my content creation notebook, my business studies notebook. And if you look up here, I actually have space for my, see if I can put this in some colour. There we go. My little froggy stationery holder, which my mum made me, because she's crafty like that. Some paint water that I need to clean. My little friend, and a globe that I got, I can't remember when. And then my calendar. And then in here I have, I'm not going to open it all the way because it's quite old, but I've got some spare notebooks, some spare paper, some cards that I want to do something with, my calligraphy paper. It's not officially calligraphy paper, but it's like thick enough to write on with my quill, which is over there, because I am using it, I promise. And then my prompted journal, which is out and center, so I actually try and use it. And then in here I've got paint supplies and art supplies and stuff. Then I've got my pencil case and some spare pencils and stuff, and then some stickers under here. And then I've got some spare notebooks and some spare cards there that I might use eventually, or just to use as like inspiration for stuff. And then that one I'm not going to open because it's full to the brim, but it's like paperwork and certificates and stuff. And down here is a big A3 sketchbook that I will use eventually. So yeah, my desk is finally clean. It's finally usable. I might actually be able to put this tripod more than just, you know, jamming it in the purple box that used to be at the top. I'm going to turn this off because it's bright. Because yeah, I used to have a purple tray, which is now under there, where I just jam in the tripod that you're currently on, and just kind of had very limited options. Because I think if you remember a couple of videos ago, before I had like the downward angle, I just had it across, and it's because I have these I have these grooves where because I have a fold down lid, that's where the lid like slots into, and I just kind of like propped my phone in there, but it meant it was just completely side on, which wasn't a great angle either. So now I actually have some space. I have the ability to move the camera around, get some more interesting angles. Hopefully that'll make me feel more comfortable to make more content than just time lapses of me doing work, which is great for me because it means that I, you know, stay productive and I get things done, and it holds me accountable, which is, I think I put in the description of one of my videos what it's for, at least for me. But I have realised that that doesn't make for great YouTube. That doesn't make for great watching. And And I do actually want to do something with this channel. Like, it would be nice to be able to document stuff, because I have stuff that I'm trying to work on, and I have stuff that I'm trying to do, and there's things that I want to be and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, because there's a reason for the studying. I'm not studying just to study, though I have done that before, and that is also quite fun. But it also, you run out of energy if you don't have a purpose for it. At least for me, I do. Obviously, if you're just like, I just want to be a nerd and just learn everything, then fair enough. And I do that as well, because like I have a bunch of books on astrophysics. Like, I had no intention of taking it at A level, so you know, that is just for the sake of it. Like, there's nothing I can do with that information, it's just fun. But that's books that I'm not actively studying that. But as I've said before on this channel, I do, you know, I'm studying business so that I can actually, you know, maybe try and, you know, make some sort of like artistic hustle on the side in the future, because obviously that's where it's going to start. I'm not going to just like, you know, drop everything and start making money straight away. That's not how that works. So I've got that I want to do, and I'm doing it the proper way this time, instead of just, you know, guessing and then being told that's dumb, try again. But then I'm also studying music theory, because I do also want to do music in the future. And, you know, in order to create, because I'm writing lyrics at the same time, or at least stuff that can be turned into lyrics. And obviously if I want to make songs, I kind of have to know how to compose them. And unfortunately, I don't have a background in music. Like, I didn't take it at GCSE even, so I don't know what information is useful or not yet. So I'm literally just like learning everything, and then once I figure out what is useful and what isn't, I can, you know, go back through my notes and sort through it and like highlight the bits that I need and just like gloss over the things I don't. But for now, I'm just taking it all in. I also have started getting back into like novel writing again, and also novel editing, which is what this thing is. I finally got it back out again, and I actually edited like 12 pages the other day. And I think the reason why I stopped was because I started going through like with a red pen kind of thing, and then I read, because I just kind of like dove into it because I just kind of like wanted to get it started while it was still fresh in my head. But then I made the misfortune of like looking up advice, or just accidentally seeing some advice that said like, oh, before you even get out the red pen or the gold pen or whatever it is you're going through and making small edits with, you have to make big cuts and rearrange your scenes and all that kind of stuff. And I hadn't done that. I had just jumped in and gone like line by line, and I was like, oh, I've done it wrong, but I've already started doing it this way. And my brain just kind of, you know, did the buffering sound and then just stopped, and it just went in a drawer for months. So I've got that back out now, because I'm like, okay, even if this isn't the greatest way to do it, I will finish what I started. And then once I've made those small changes, if I have to make big changes and then some more small changes after that, that's fine, and I will just take it as it comes. But, you know, I can't make progress if I'm not doing anything. So I've got that back out, and I've also got an account on NaNoWriMo now, so that I can like, it doesn't track pages, so I've had to track it as words, and so it just looks kind of weird, because it's like, yes, I only have 52 words in this book that I'm doing, because obviously I can't really go on word count when I'm editing, so I'm having to go on page count. So it looks a bit less productive, because yeah, it's like, oh, you've edited 12 words out of 52, and I'm like, no, pages, it's pages, they just don't have a pages tab. Apparently they used to, and then they changed the website around, and then that accidentally got deleted, but whatever, it's fine. But then I've also started trying to get into writing some new stories because I have discovered that, I mean, I think I've always known this, but a lot of mainstream advice contradicts this, which is I work best when I'm working on several things at once. So I have low battery remaining apparently. So if I just try and focus on one thing and then every time my mind drifts to try and pull it back to this one thing, my brain doesn't want to do that one thing. It wants to do the thing that it's daydreaming about. So in order to kind of like prevent the daydreaming, I guess, it's better for me to have several things on the go at the same time. Which is why, I think I showed this in one of my previous videos, which is why I just have an overall stories notebook, so I can just, you know, flick through and work on several stories at once, because I have tried so hard to just do one thing at once and it doesn't work. But so yeah, I'm technically working on 2 stories at the moment. One is science fiction and one is fantasy. And what I'm editing is a children's fantasy. So 3 very different projects, which I think is what my brain needs, honestly. But I kind of put all these productive things in place. Like I got Habitica, which is like a gamification app to use. And it was sort of like I got all these things sorted out, and then I got a job, which is obviously a good thing because, you know, earning money is a good thing, and, you know, it's in a bookshop, so, you know, I'm very happy with that. But it does mean that all of the structures that I had in place kind of just fell apart almost instantly, and so it's me trying to figure out what to do with my days off so that I don't completely tire myself out and just dissolve into nothingness. Because, you know, it doesn't sound tiring working at a bookshop, but even just, you know, standing on your feet for 5 hours, because I'm part-time, so just standing on your feet for 5 hours can be quite exhausting, especially if you then forget your purse and have to walk home for an hour. That's also quite tiring. But yeah, it's just figuring out how to conserve energy but also get the things I want to do done on my days off, and how to, you know, work the best that I can at work, because obviously I want to do a good job and I want to earn the money that they're paying me. And also, like, it's a bookshop. I am technically living one of my dreams there, and so, you know, I do want to make it the best experience that I have, and if I'm just knackered all the time, I can't do that. But obviously I also want to still commit to my own writing and also my own studies and stuff as well, because I think what happens is a lot of us restrict ourselves to one thing, and we're like, no, I am a writer, or I am an artist, or I am a singer, and then you kind of, if you do other things, like there's a lot of singers that go into acting, and then there's writers that go into illustrating and stuff like that. But there's kind of this idea that if you do more than one thing, you have to do them one after another. Like, you have to make your mark in this field and then move on to the next one and then move on to the next one. But for me, I at least want to have a solid base in all of them before I progress with any of them, because you know, like, I do want to be an author, and, you know, I went to university for writing and stuff like that, so that is definitely something I want. But, you know, like I said before, I also want to I also want to be a singer-songwriter, and I want to make my own songs, and I also want to make my own art, and, you know, be able to, you know, see my art out there in the world, even if it's just on greetings cards or something. Like, I want someone else to physically have my work and to appreciate it, because I also really enjoy making art. And yeah, I want to be a creator in all senses of the word, I guess, is my dream. And so if I can put the work in now and figure out a balance between everything now, that will help me so much in the future. Like, I feel like I'm 25 and I think part of me had given up because all of the people making it were getting younger and younger, and I was just getting older, and I was like, no one's gonna want me in blah 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 field because I'm too old. And then I was like, F it, I'll just do it anyway, even if no one buys it, even if, you know, I have to self-publish. Because in one of my previous videos I was like, I want to go through traditional publishing because, you know, I want the validation of someone saying my work is good enough. But the problem is, they're not necessarily saying your work is good, they're just saying it's sellable, which are two different things. And obviously you want the two to be the same. Like, you know, if it's badly written, or at least below a certain standard, it's not going to go anywhere. But if they think they can sell it, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the greatest story ever written. And also, you're not going to make that much money from it unless, you know, you do kind of like suddenly explode and everyone reads your book and it becomes, you know, a TikTok sensation and all this kind of stuff. So I have kind of been thinking about maybe self-publication just so it's out there, I guess. And also because I know how much of a control freak I am. And obviously if I am working on my art at the same time, you know, I'm more likely to be able to design my own front cover and maybe put some illustrations in there. But it also means that it's more work for me, because it does mean that I do have to check everything myself, and I do have to kind of like have my own eyes to see whether it's good enough, and whether it is up to a company standard. And obviously I think part of that is reading around, you know, in your genre, but I think also part of it is like your own judgment. Like, someone else isn't going to tell me that this is done, I just have to decide that this is done. Like, there's no editor or agent that I'm sending this off to check it over and be like, yeah, this is up to, you know, company standard or whatever it is. Like, you are the company, so you are the standard. And I think I'm just gonna have to make some notes on that as well. Another thing I have to study. Good thing I'm a nerd. So that's what I'm on at the moment. I'm taking on 101 tasks and, you know, working a part-time job at the same time. But like I said, the work isn't a chore, because it is something I've always wanted to do. And even when it's stressful and, you know, I'm like this close to having a meltdown because like 100 things have gone wrong at the same time, or it's just 100 things are happening at the same time, you know, there's still an energy and an aura in a bookshop that kind of stops me from going over the edge, and it kind of grounds me a bit better than when I worked in catering, for example, which, as quite a lot of you probably know, isn't the calmest of places. So yeah, that's my life at the moment, and I now have a tidy desk, because, you know, tidy desk, tidy mind, and all of that good stuff. And yeah, here's to productive rest of the year. So yeah, if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because I am trying to be more active on here. Obviously I'll still have to figure out a schedule with work and stuff, but Sundays seem the best bet because the shop is closed on a Sunday, so hopefully I should always have that free. But yeah, like, subscribe, Leave a comment if you have anything to say. Are you starting new projects? Are you learning new things? Let me know. It'll be interesting. We can, you know, help each other in the comments, keep each other active and productive and stuff. And yeah, I'll see you next time.